I was thinking back about this knee and thinking, well, all the things I've done that could have caused this, there's been a lot of those. I walked 20 years carrying mail. I sat in a Volkswagen and delivered newspapers for 29 years. I spent lots of years coaching baseball down on my hands and knees. Through the years, I did a lot of things that potentially wear your knees out. So I guess, to wait till I'm 70 years old to have my knee replacement surgery and not have really had any real pain through the years other than the times that I actually injured it at playing football and falling out of a truck, I guess I'm pretty lucky. My dad retired with a career with MFA of from the 40s up into the 70s when he retired, of 30-some years. Ultimately, we made our home in Columbia here in 1955. And my mother and dad bought a house out on West Broadway that was the third house west of Clinkscales, which was outside the city limits in 1955. Stadium Boulevard was gravel when we first moved to Columbia, and the Broadway Shopping Center was a drive-in movie theater right beside our house. We walked to the drive-in during the summers every night we wanted to go see the movies. It was a different time growing up in Columbia in 1955. Graduated from high school in '63, and there were traditions at Hickman High School. I was the last class that wore a green and white beanie, and the significance of that was that was your initiation to become a Hickman Kewpie as a sophomore. You wore that beanie and you had to wear it every day. The only exceptions were you didn't have to wear it on Sunday and when you went to church. One of the other traditions at Hickman High School and it lasted for a year or two after us, but the balcony in the auditorium, which was where we all attended an all-school assembly every Friday, the only people that could be in the balcony were the seniors, and that was referred to as senior heaven. At Hickman, after every home football game and basketball game, we literally had a dance in the cafeteria. So I was the one that provided the records and put them on a 45 changer and played them through the PA into the cafeteria where we danced to music.
Oh, there's a crazy little shack beyond the tracks, and everybody calls it the Sugar Shack.
I have now been associated with all of their reunions, and they've now been out of high school, go figure. They had I think their last was a 35-year reunion. My job as reunion chairman since the 10th reunion was to recontact everybody and get the news to them about the reunion and get as many people to attend as I could. I spent a lot of time at the computer. I spent a lot of time on the phone. We were using computers then, but email wasn't as rampant as it is now. Not everybody had email, so you still had a lot of phone calling and stuff. In 1998, October, after our reunion, I started a web page. And we raised $5,000 at that reunion left over from our class because we'd anticipated wanting to start a scholarship. The school needed a portable sound system, so we gave that $5,000 to the school, which they came up with another $2,000 or $3,000 to buy about $8,000 worth of equipment. So from there, I continued on with the web page, and we kept thinking scholarships. So years later, I think 2008, we've given about 8 scholarships now. But my class wanting to start a scholarship, they wanted to do that in my name as appreciation for me being the one that always put the reunions together. And I was honored and said, a scholarship in my name, and I don't even have to die to get that. I started a second scholarship called the Kewpie.net Scholarship. Just recently, 120-some good Kewpie friends of mine and another class or two helped me raise almost $10,000, and we're going to be bringing out a new Kewpie mascot costume. And it's going to be an explosive surprise to a lot of people at Hickman High School when it happens. So when you total all those numbers up, $110,000 passed since old Kewpie.net webpage started in 1998. 55, 56 was my first school year, and I was 10 years old, and within a year or two after we moved here, I decided I need a little job, and so, well, my dad had a lawnmower and I knew how to mow the yard, so I started mowing yards. So I started accumulating a few dollars. That's pretty unusual for me to accumulate dollars. I usually buy records real fast, but anyway, I decided I needed to put my money somewhere. So there was this bank downtown, and my mom and dad had banked there, and so it was called the Exchange National Bank. And so I opened up a checking account and financed my 73 Chevrolet steel gray, black vinyl top Malibu from the bank back then. So then it became the First National Bank and Trust Company. And well, I mean, I never had any desire to change banks in Columbia, even though I knew people at all the other banks. I always just, you know, my money's there and everything's working okay. So I stayed with the First National Bank and Trust Company, and now Columbia has another name for the same bank that was the Exchange National when I started there, and it's now called the Landmark Bank. And so when I think back in time, I said, I'm approaching almost 60 years of having my money in the same bank. And when you think in terms of, well, how secure is that? What are your plans? My plans are, as I said earlier, you know, I'm sticking with Landmark. They had 150 years experience. They've changed the name, but everything else has remained the same. So I bank at Landmark, and I'll continue to bank at Landmark. I use their internet banking more than anything else now. I'll be 71 years old May the 12th. And, you know, I look at my retirement years, and my retirement years, I think, probably been some of the best days of my life. And my retirement years kind of coincide with something else that's been pretty good part of my life, and that's my wife. We've had almost 16 years of undisputed, happily married years, and we have a lot of fun. She's got her fun things. I got my fun things. I still DJ. I take a lot of pictures. I do all kinds of stuff with Hickman people and stuff, and so she lets me do my things, and she's involved more than me. Back when I had my 50th reunion, a class from Hickman High School had their 70th reunion, a class of 43. And that was the first time, to my knowledge or anyone else's of any class from Hickman High School, having an organized 70th reunion. Those people in that class now are going to be 91 this year. So with any luck at all, with this new knee, and my heart's still good, I got that fixed almost 20 years ago, and it's still kicking right along. I'm looking at maybe breaking that record with this new knee. I might be having a 75th reunion and break that record for the class of 43. Who can tell? New knee, all these heart repairs and stuff, might make it.
The future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. I gotta wear shades.